We need to adopt new technologies. We need to sometimes innovate, sometimes buy, sometimes scale stuff that's available out there to help our cause. In the last 10 years, and I don't know how many of you have been in the business for the last 10 years, in the business of HR or in a profession. I've been, and I can tell you that 10 years back, under different segments, the usage of technology was very different. If you were to pick just one example, this is how we organize ourselves in HR. If you were to just pick, let's say, hiring as an example. 10 years back, there was probably a hiring platform, and probably is underscored here. Not always there was a hiring platform. A lot of work used to happen in folders, Excel sheets, and whatnot. There was some sourcing strategies. Folks would network. Networking was a big sourcing strategy. There were a few job search sites, and there were some job portals that you'll buy licenses to, probably one license that a team would share and then source resumes. In today's world, we use almost 10 to 15 different tools just getting to engage with a candidate, right? So we have, in addition to your regular hiring platform, you have social networks, you have analytics-based applications, you have video interviewing, you have HackerRank type of applications that increase the chances of you getting a good candidate, and so on. And this is the landscape that's shifting around us. So this global wave of digitization, disruption, is not a choice anymore. So if some of you who followed the tweet chat that People Matters had last week, my first response was digitization or disruption may no longer be optional. Either you get used to it or perish. It's fairly black and white in that sense. So we've been trying to adapt to the new world, how things are happening, and what we are doing in that space. So if you were to create a mental mark of how we organize ourselves, it's fairly easy. In my office back in Bangalore, there is a big photo frame, has 3 words, says scan, try, scale. And that's how we organize our business plans, the technology that we're using or planning to use. So some of the conversations that me and several of my colleagues from Fidelity who are in the room had today out there on the floor would go into the scan phase. And we'll scan the use case of those applications, those offerings in our environment. We'll find a few that we want to try. I will take them to the next level. And then the ones which are successful out of those will scale, right? So that's the model we work with. Virtual reality is somewhere between scan and try, because we are developing different phases of that, different roadmaps of virtual reality. Now, there are 2 words that I add after scan, try, and scale. One is repeat, and the second is do it faster, fail faster, which is scan, try, scale, repeat with something else, and fail fast. If it doesn't work out, then start all over again and do it all over again. So virtual reality is also referred to as immersive technology. And virtual reality is not new, my friends. It's been with us for over 80 years. Google it, and you'll find something looking like this, but made of leather from 1930s. So virtual reality feeds your senses. Like I said, you feel a jolt, you feel you're there. If you're really into the game, you can spend hours and hours in that environment. And it goes beyond your listening, your cognitive senses, right? You're sitting in a class like this, you're listening, you're using your brain at the same time, but you're not in the same space where I am. But if two of us, if I was to pick, let's say one, or all of us were wearing a headset, which unfortunately is not possible still, and looking at the same thing, and we could be in that space, look 360 degrees, we'll have the same experience and feed our senses a different way. By using virtual reality, we can shorten the learning time by 80%, which is, if you're in a house, you're going through a maze, you're clicking on different objects, you understand, okay, there were 3 things that I clicked on which told me where to look up the stock price. There were 4 different platforms that I can get a confirmation from. And similar to that, any other process flow in an organization that's sitting 10,000 miles away and doing business, you and I do not grow up with US market regulations, US funds, US pension plans, all of that. So we need to learn all of that if we need to deliver that business from here. Cutting the business managers' work by 80% to train new resources for 36 hours of classroom learning to, let's say, 4 to 6 hours of virtual reality learning is where the trick is for us. And there are many, many, many more use cases in our environment. I'm sure they are there in your environment as well, where virtual reality can be used.